Okay, so today's word is prevalence. So what does prevalence mean? It's a way of saying that something is, of describing how widespread or how common something else is. We'll look at a few specific examples of how we can use it. A nice way to think about it is the number of cases of something, usually in a place. But you'll understand the meaning as I give you a few examples. Specifically in this video, we're going to use it in a specific form. We're going to use it like this: an increased prevalence of. There is an increased prevalence of, or there has been an increased prevalence of. Right, so prevalence of what? Let's look at some examples. So one way we can use it is an increased prevalence of robots. I've seen recently they seem to like this topic, more robots in the home and in the workplace. So you can say that the recent past has witnessed an increased prevalence of robots in the workplace. So it just means an increased number of instances, or an increased occurrence, an increased number of cases of. There are more robots in the workplace, so robots are more prevalent in the workplace. Great. And then we're also using yesterday's language, has witnessed. So that really ends up with a nice band 7 plus level sentence. Let's look at another example. Again, exactly the same kind of question, just worded in a different way. Here they're saying machines instead of robots. So I paraphrased it to robots, but you can use machines. Now, we actually did this sentence before. Remember, we did under increasing pressure from. And then in that example, I used use, but a better way to say it would be to just substitute the word use with prevalence. The modern workforce is under increasing pressure from the prevalence of robots in the workplace. Let's say the increased. You could do increasing prevalence if you wanted to have a more continuous and changing feeling. The increased prevalence of robots in the workplace. Great, so that's one example, robots and machines in the workplace and in the home. I've noticed another one is supermarkets. More and more supermarkets. Here we go, more and more. So we've got this changing, developing feeling. Large supermarkets are opening in smaller neighborhoods, in communities. So we can say an increased prevalence of supermarkets. Again, we used this before when we were doing under increasing pressure from, and I used appearance, but we can say the increased prevalence of large supermarkets in the communities, and it actually sounds much better. So far we've got robots and machines and supermarkets. And let's look at another example. Some people say that the development of technology no longer lead to learn handwriting. Again, we're doing a paraphrase. The increased prevalence of technological devices is basically the development of technology. Much better, a very nice advanced paraphrase for that. All right, so I think you're starting to get the idea. The increased prevalence of, I've been using it in paraphrase, but of course you can use it in your body paragraphs. If you have to provide a reason for something, you can say one of the main reasons for this is the increased prevalence of. So we've done 3 things where we can use prevalence. There are lots, of course. I'm just trying to find the common IELTS ones: robots and machines, supermarkets and malls, technological devices. A couple more would definitely be, we use prevalence a lot with diseases. So the prevalence of obesity, the prevalence of malaria. And then definitely you could use it with crime, the increased prevalence of crime in cities. Great, so don't get too flexible with it. Try and stick to the specific examples I gave you. But yes, some very nice language. Definitely band 7 plus level language. Great, I hope that helps. I'll see you tomorrow.